All right, so once you have your icons, remember that's you can go to Sketch App Resources, Sketch App Sources, sorry, .com. Just do a search for icons. Like download them. It's going to download as a sketch file. You can open that sketch file. Once you have that sketch file open, depending on the ones you've downloaded, like you can see these are already changed, and how they're organized. Like these are essentially, looking at them this way, these are collections of a bunch of different shapes. All right, so they're like they took basic shapes and then they've grouped them together. They are this color because they should be. Oh, there's no symbols. Okay, never mind. They're not symbols. We haven't talked about symbols at all yet. We will later. We don't really need to right now. But these should be pretty easy to change. So when you just click on them, like if I just click and drag and grab that guy and my fill. Okay, so like these are pretty easy to change. But I remember like. Okay, these were kind of difficult to change because of how they were grouped together. Let's go. Remember, just if you hold Command and click through, you'll get the whole thing. But you see, sometimes you get icons, and they'll have this these little rotate symbols, like the two curved arrows. That means it's a symbol. A symbol is a special type of object. A symbol is an object that you can make. You can do anything and turn it into a symbol. The term symbol just means that it becomes like it's like a prefabricated component that you can reuse a lot in all your designs within a document. Okay, so instead of having to manually copy paste it, like making a page, say making a page for all your icons, and then having to go to that page and grab that group and copy it and then bring it over to wherever you need to use it. Symbols are built in, and you can just go down and grab your symbol, like that list maybe, snaps to my cursor, and I put it there, and then I can start, doing stuff to it. Now that's more or less the same as copy pasting, except that symbols always retain a link back to the original symbol. All right, so for instance, if I dump that symbol in again, there it is. So I have this symbol again, right? If I have two of these on two different designs, but I want to say change the colors of this one but not this one, right now they're both the same symbol. It's not letting me, and I can't really change anything to it. I'd have to go to my symbols page and then find it, which is going to be like way over here somewhere. It might be easier to copy paste, group, create symbol. Set to original size, detach. Oh, I thought there was a way to like jump to the original symbol. Oh yeah, okay, double click on it, and that returns to the master copy. So like this is the master copy, and then that other one was like an instance, right? So this is the master version. If I try to change anything about this master version, so say I want to change the color, right? I go back to the instance, the color on both of them has changed. But if I don't want that color to change, like on this one, then I need to right click on it and detach from symbol, and then it becomes its own object and not just a reference of the original. Does that make sense? The benefit of this is I have a whole bunch of these icons across many pages on my design, and I'm like, oh, I need to change the color of all of them. You just go change the master. You don't have to go through and change each individual one. Does that make sense? Right? Okay. Is that clear? Right? So you need to be really careful if you download icons and they've got this little rotated symbol here. They're symbols. If you want to change the color, that's fine. Just double click on it and go change the master reference. But like in our case here, our case here with we've got these 4 sets of icons, right? And you see down here it changed as well. You need to detach to change those colors. So what I'll do, I'll jump over to the original style guide here, and I'll use these other, well, I'll use these master, I'll use these again. I'm going to just grab my symbol page. Should be able to just drag and drop. Yep, okay. Drag my symbol page over to my new front-end framework. So I have all those symbols in there now. My whole symbol drawer should be full. And then I'm going to also just copy-paste. I'm going to copy-paste my original layout here. Copy, come over here, paste it. All right. So now these references should all be connected. So like if I double click, let's make these as icons default. So if I just put these in here somewhere, if I double click, yeah, so it automatically synchronizes the symbols. Okay. So I just copy pasted them over from another document. So if you may get icons that aren't symbols, that's totally fine. Those are really easy to change. All you do is I'm holding command to do it like a direct copy, and then you would change the color. But all right, so I have my default here, and I want to, let's copy all of them and move them over so that I can change. Let's group these. Not go. Copy. Oh, I see. All right. All right. Same group. Center that group. All right, but I want to change these default copies to be like my. Let's call this my active state. So these will be green. Now I need to detach all of these. So I can select, copy select, or command select all of them, and then right click and go to detach from symbol. So now they are all, the icons over here in my layers list should change to folders. Notice up on my default grouping, which is this one over here, they stayed symbols. But in my active state, they are now folders, which means I can directly select each and every one of them and see the properties over here in the window. Does that make sense? I made a copy of my default icons, selected all of them, right-clicked, detached them from the symbol, so now they're their own objects. Okay, and then just command, select, and drag, and then you can change the background. Now, one note on that: if you copy all of them and you see this little icon next to the fill and the color, that means not all of the objects have that exact characteristic. Okay, not all of them have this gray. Most of them do, but not all of them. A majority do, which is why the gray shows up. Okay, so if this little minus symbol is there, that means not all of them have that fill. But if you go to change it, or the border, sorry. Let me zoom out. Go to change it. It's not going to let me change it. There we go. Hit plus. That'll let you change it. So I'm going to change it to like a green. Right. That right away should show you what objects don't have that. So it's just a matter now of kind of coming in, command selecting, and making sure you've got them. It's a good idea to also include that color that you're changing them to into your document palette, so you can always go back to it. It's a very dull green. But so now I'm just command copying these and kind of seeing, oh, there's a blue. Probably should not have a fill. Let's go transparent. Oh, I see. Let's go all the way up. That. But like this one is a little complicated because it's the oval needs to not have a fill. All right. This one, like, just this little square needs to should have a fill that is the same. So you just have to go through and just double check them, change all those. Once that's done, you can draw, insert a shape, rectangle as a kind of background color here. If you draw it right on top, just right click on it and should be send to back, maybe not. You can go to arrange, send to back, get the border color, and then pick something that is going to make that green stand out. Generally a complementary color. It's a little darker. I'm not sure what I do. What did I do over here? Oh, I just did a gray. Alright, gray would work then. This one? Yeah, that kind of works. That's better. That makes that stand out really well. I'm going to copy that square, bring it over here. Place it there. If you ever need to make your document bigger, just grab the title, stretch it down. Yeah, and then so you're just going to repeat that. I've already got the icons up here, this active state, so I can just copy it, duplicate the whole folder, move that over here, place it. Mess with placing in a minute. Active state, just make sure you change your titles so that you know what's what. Morning state. And then the same thing goes, I like to lock the backgrounds when I do them so I'm not accidentally clicking them. In order to lock them, come over to the layers window, and when you mouse over a layer, you'll see that little eye icon. That's for toggling visibility, of course. Just hit Option and it'll change to a lock. And just click on it and now it's locked. Okay? Same thing goes for needing to see the eye. You just hold Option and it toggles those two states. So locked it. I'm going to grab the other one and lock that one. That way I won't accidentally click them. Grab those, change my color, and then just find the ones that need to have their color changed. Go through and change them. So pretty simple. The big thing is just command clicking in order to get them to change. So I'll do one more. Duplicate the warning state. This will be error state. Error state. And then drag it over. Should get some smart guides to sort of auto line things up. Click and drag a box. Grab my document red. If you want that red to stand out more, you could put a background behind it as well. That would be fine. So yeah, I don't know. Any questions about that? Does that seem pretty clear to everybody else, or everybody? Yeah. So your grouping should look pretty close to what I have here. Let's move that down there. Remember, you want to try to keep your groupings looking like, it's not color palette though, as much as you can like what your HTML is going to look like. So icons. I didn't do my type yet, so let me do my type. Oh, this is part of the type. Okay. Yeah.
Could you explain like the active state versus like what
But different states. Yeah, so you know, an active state, something that's green, that's like an affirmation, like, you know, whatever you just did succeeded. These are just user feedback states, like colors, right? So generally they're for buttons, or I mean, icons work really well too. You know, if you have, like, say you're trying to fill out a login information or registration or something, and you miss a field, right? It's good to highlight it in red and take your user to it. If everything succeeds, then show green. If something failed but it's not critical, it's not like a stop, right? You can still keep going if you want to, but it's not like perfect, then that would be like a good orange or yellow, right? And these are just sort of, these are the normal cultural colors that we use for that kind of stuff. They differ, of course, by culture, but for the most part, green is a positive message. Yellow is a middle of the road kind of message, sort of like not critical, but you should pay attention to this. And then red, of course, is like, oh no, you got to fix this before you can proceed. It's just the nature of our culture and how we interpret colors. Right? You use them just to give feedback. Right? If everything stayed the same color and nothing changed, you'd have no idea what broke, or whether or not your thing succeeded. So, all right, I'm gonna do my type real quick. Yeah, all right. So hopefully you guys did your type as well. Duplicate this.